Arts and Humanity for Environment and Sustainability, the S word, as we know it, a vision. As I mentioned, I am a visual artist and by training a scientist. And my work kind of got easier from this transition in this school, the old school, School of Natural, what was the name again? Natural Resources. It's now for Environment and Sustainability. And one of the things that the new school is supposed to have, based on the provost and the team, transition team, was to incorporate actually arts and the humanities. So to me, that it's a real opportunity. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that was the mandate. And you might recognize some happy faces here. So I hope the mandate will become a reality. Now for me, transitioning, it's a funny word, going from being a scientist to being an artist was a natural evolution, if you wish. And I discovered through science, actually, the beauty of art and nature and how to communicate science through art, which became something that has inspired my artwork for the years to come. The same as my work as a ecosystem modeler. That's what I do for science. I use data about ecosystems and ecological concepts, and I blend them together to do management. So sustainable management of fisheries. That was my field, and that has been part of also my inspiration for my art. But it was when I moved to this place here where my art started becoming more of a speaking up about environmental problems and concerns. When I moved to the Great Lakes, I discovered the beauty of the ecosystem, and I celebrated water, and I started understanding the connections between the watersheds and the Great Lakes, land-water relationships, and also recognizing the challenges in the Great Lakes due to pollution and contamination, invasive species, all this kind of in a explosion of color, but really as a desperation as a scientist to deal with all of these problems through science and trying to communicate through art. The same with the demise of some of the most wonderful native species in the Great Lakes, unionids, and I started speaking up through the title of my artwork to bring awareness of all these things to people that will not be in a classroom. The same, I started reaching out and becoming, doing collaboration to educate, move, and inspire through the combination of art, visual art, science, and other forms of art, and through this interdisciplinary multimedia performance, who I was collaborating with Jessica and Evan here today, to communicate about the relationship of culture and water and the cycle of water. Same thing with creating the gallery where you will have the reception, trying to bring artists into the school and communicating through the visual arts about different relationships between society and nature. In this gallery also gave me the opportunity to bring youth into the building. I really believe that in order to fulfill the mission of the school, which is to take care of the planet, in essence, we need to also reach out to youth and educate kids about the wonders of nature and their relationship with nature, how they need to also be part of the solution, right? So we have organized workshops for kids here to learn about urban nature. You can see how they rejoice in the combination of learning and creating. And In this case, invited kids from public schools to learn about climate change and then have an art competition. And then they came with family and parents and again, rejoice. Another project is the one that we have now with Jessica in Detroit and Belial, trying to get the kids to relate to nature and to water, the Great Lakes in particular. And then, of course, incorporating engagement into education. And this is one of my favorite classes that I teach here in the school. I have the privilege to combine arts and sciences in this class, nature, culture, and landscape, and have the students experience the power of art. They do a children's book on climate change, was that one. And they are not artists, they're students here in the school, but they're able to create, and they need to learn how to be creative and how to communicate science. This one was on the Huron River, and again, wonderful images and stories, and also a project where they experience the power of art by selecting a program on campus and finding ways to communicate that. In this case, bird mortality by windows, and then go out in the public and try to make a difference. So the power of art without technology, in this case, without real money, but with your heart. And that's what I hope that the students will learn, is that you do your best with what you can, and art is a real powerful tool. So that's my presentation.